Hey, so guys, JK Disc Golf here, and today we have another disc review, and today's disc is the Gateway Samurai. So let's jump right into this disc review. This is an understable disc from Gateway. Let's just jump right into the numbers. It's a speed 13, a glide of 5, a -2, and a 1. So yeah, it's going to be an understable driver. Not too understable as I found, but it is still an understable driver. But with that, let's jump right into the profile of the disc. It does not have a dome, and it's not a flat top, but I would say it's more of a flat top than a dome. It's kind of just in the middle of the two, so you know that's going to be an understable disc. It's not going to be fighting to the left right away, but it's not also going to be fighting to the right away. So it's kind of in the middle between, but it's more understable than stable. The rim itself feels really good in the hand. It's not too big, not too small. It feels really good in my hand. So I have small hands compared to other people, and it fits my hand very well. So I really enjoyed that. It also has this rim on top of the rim. I don't know how to explain. It's kind of like a little ridge, but you can't really feel it too much. Like, it doesn't affect my feel in the hand at all. Other than that, that's all about the rim and the profile. It just feels really good for an intermediate hand. I feel like it would fit in everyone's hand really good. It's good feel. So let's jump right into the flight path. So if I throw this thing flat I'll say in a tailwind, it would give me a little bit of a turn to the right, but go straight and kind of end with a little bit to the left. Now, if I threw this thing flat in a headwind, this thing would go and flip over right away, and it would hold that line. But it would actually hold this line for a super long way, because this thing goes really far. It's actually kind of surprising how far this thing went with the turnover. It went almost 400 feet with just a hold the turnover the whole way, all the way to the right. Never fought back, just kept going. But that was in the tailwind. I couldn't really get that. Even if I threw it 100%, I could get it turned a little bit, but I couldn't get that all the way turn the right the whole way. Only in the headwind, and it didn't matter how hard I threw it in the headwind, it was going to the right, which kind of surprised me how I gave two different flights. But if I gave this thing hyzer, this thing would hyzer flip so nice. I could get this thing to go a ways when I just give it a little bit of a hyzer. It'd flip up straight, maybe give a little bit turn to the right, but keep going straight. That was in a tailwind. Again, the headwind, I would have to give it a lot of hyzer for it to flip and go straight, but again, this thing would mash. It would go plus 400, and it was actually really crazy to see how good this thing could hyzer flip. Now holding the Annie, when I threw the Annie, it would hold it a very, very long way, but it would start fighting out of it at the end, again, in a tailwind. It would fight back and fade to, just at the end, we have a little bit of a fade back to the left, and again, it would go a really, really long way. But in a headwind, if I give it the Anheuser, it's just going to go right to the right. It's just going to go way to the right. So I wouldn't suggest, if you're not looking for a disc to go to the right in a headwind, don't go for the Samurai, because this thing's going to go to the right no matter how hard you throw it. But however, on the other way, if you want it to go to the right, throw the Samurai on a headwind, because that's what it's going to do. But let's talk about sidearm before we get into this. Sidearm, I could hyzer flip sidearm this disc, and this thing would go. It'd go relatively farther than a lot of my other sidearms, which I actually really enjoyed hyzer flipping this thing. If I would throw it, a normal sidearm, it would give me a little bit of a flex. Even though I didn't really flex it, it would just kind of turn to the left and go to the right. But again, in a headwind, this thing would just flip right over, and it wouldn't give me any sort of sidearm. It would go to a forehand roller. But what do I suggest this shot for? Hyzer flips. I don't have the biggest arm, and I can hyzer flip this thing no problem. So if someone doesn't really know how to hyzer flip, or can't hyzer flip a lot of discs, I would definitely try to check out the Samurai, because I can hyzer flip this thing no problem, and it goes a really, really, really long way. So that's what I kind of suggest this disc for. Or if you're in a headwind and you need something to turn over, I would go with the Samurai, because this thing will go to the right, and it'll go to the right for a really, really long time, and it'll hold that line the whole way in a headwind. So that's what I would suggest throwing the Samurai doing. So who do I suggest this disc for? I would just think, again, for more intermediate players or the more advanced players. Not super advanced, like not I suggest it for everybody, obviously, but the more people I would check it out, or maybe not someone who just started playing disc golf, obviously, but someone who's trying to learn a hyzer flip, because that's what this disc does. It hyzer flips because it is an understable disc, and it holds lines, and it does what you kind of want it to do. For me, it's just a really great disc, and I actually really love throwing this thing. Again, this is another disc that's going straight in my bag, and I will be using this thing for hyzer flips. And again, don't have the biggest arm, and I can throw this thing no problem, and I love it. I would suggest everyone go check this disc out, but the only way you guys are going to know how to throw it for you is to go out and get one. So again, I'm going to leave Gateway's link in the below. Check out their other disc. I've never been disappointed with one of their discs. They throw great discs, so go give them a check them out. But that's all I got for today's video, guys. Make sure to keep throwing.